Hey, this is Kelly from the Dolly Rocks.
This is Joe Queer from the Infamous Queers.
Hey, Sleepy P. Martini.
Hey, this is Indica Flower.
And you are listening to
Our Brains Hurt.
Our Brains Hurt.
Our Brains Hurt.
Losers.
Well, they needed a jingle for their stupid little show, so they called up the Jasons and we said, fuck no. Then they called us again and they gave us $20 and we wrote them a song that said, your podcast sucks. Then they gave us more money and they asked us really nice and we finally gave in and we said, all right, I'll write you a song, but it's gonna be a clone of a screeching weasel song that we heard a while ago. So we wrote them a jingle and it sounded really rad. It was the best little jingle that the podcast ever had, but the file got corrupted and the email didn't work. Now they're stuck without a jingle singing our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. In a very non-copyright infringing sort of way.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Our Brains Hurts. This episode is brought to you by PunkBox. If you're looking for an awesome gift idea for yourself or for somebody else, head over to punkboxrocks.com. That's punkboxrocks.com. Sign up for their awesome monthly punk rock merch subscription service. Each month, a box of merch will be sent to your house. Stuff you would normally find at a merch table at a punk show. Things could include cassettes, CDs, vinyl, patches, buttons, pins, coffee, all sorts of cool shit. You never know what you're going to get. It's an awesome gift. Head over to punkboxrocks.com. This show is also brought to you by Merch Slut. Head over to merchslut.com for awesome band t-shirts, punk rock band t-shirts. Merch Slut gets her shirts directly from the band or the label. These are not cheap knockoffs. She also has a wide array of awesome punk rock merch. Merchslut.com. Also, don't forget, next month we have two shows coming up. August 30th at the Pie Shop in DC, Belvedere, coming down from Canada, playing with Paperback Tragedy, Idle Minds, and Morals. That's Wednesday, August 30th at the Pie Shop. Go to pieshopdc.com for tickets. And September 2nd at DC9, Dolly Rots. We'll be here with Tsunami Bomb, Over Our Eyes, and Dead End Lane. So head over to DC9 and get your tickets for that. Two awesome shows, just a few days apart. All right, that's all for the business stuff. Now, let's get to the show. Well, tonight we're talking to Missi Blue. She's a tattoo artist. She owns her own business. I'm getting some stuff done by her at the end of August of this year, August 21st. I'm stoked. I think this is the first. Is this the first tattoo artist we've had on?
I believe it is.
Yeah,
I believe it is. I imagine for people out there who want to see her work, that she has an Instagram page.
Yes, and you could find it on the bottom of the link when there's a link in the future. But yes, she is in the room, so I'm going to go ahead and let her in.
Cool.
Hey.
Hello. How are you guys?
Good.
We
had no power for like 24 hours. It's disturbing how much life sucks with no electricity.
Right.
Like,
how many times did you try to turn the lights on knowing that power was off?
every single time I walked into a bathroom. And I know, like, I remember laying down, I was like so hot, like last night at like 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, fuck it, I can't sleep. I'm just going to go downstairs and watch TV. And I'm walking down and I'm like, I can't watch TV, motherfucker.
That storm was crazy. We went down to the Banksy exhibit yesterday and we were coming back in the middle of that storm. It was fucking crazy. There was like a tree fell down like right before we got there across the whole road, like took out a guardrail. It was nuts.
Yeah, I've never seen wind that crazy. Like where I am, it was crazy. But you're in Maryland, right?
Yep.
Like northern Maryland?
It's like northwest of Baltimore.
Okay. But you are I already did like an intro, said who you were, what you do and stuff like that. But you are from originally Florida, correct? Because you're friends with friend of the show, Tom Yusko, who's been on a couple times.
Yeah, I grew up in Florida. And I've been back and forth between Florida and Maryland since I was 18. I've probably moved back and forth like 5 or 6 times. Can't make up my mind.
What's the connection between the two?
So my best friend when I was in high school moved to Maryland when we were in like 10th grade. So it was like, when I turn 18, I'm going to come up there and live with you. And we're not friends anymore, but But I ended up really loving it up here. So, but you know, I had a rough start, so it's hard for me to make it on my own for a long time. So I would come up here and everything sucked, and I'd have to go back to my parents' house or, you know, go back home. But this time it's stuck. I've been up here for, what is it, 2014, I guess I moved up here. So whatever that math is.
About 9
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Wow, that is 9 years. Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know. That seems crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think it was the same time Tom moved up here,
I think so. Yeah.
which was super weird because I was like, what do you mean you live in Maryland? I live
Yeah. Because we're from here, and then he went down there for college, and then stayed. So you own your own shop, which is in Hanover, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Bluebird Tattoo, correct?
Yep.
And I'm stoked to be going up there on August 21st,
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
getting tattooed. Yeah. I'm getting a Descendants thing. But did you see the Descent that Milo had a minor heart attack?
I did. Oh my God. I almost had a heart attack reading it because I thought the worst. Like
Me
as
too.
I was reading like the beginning of it, I was like, oh my God, what's happening? But yeah. Woo. Yeah, that's
I did not hear this. So
You didn't hear about this?
No, this is news to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Milo they were supposed to go to Europe, and they had to cancel their shows because Milo had a heart attack. It's just it was a small heart attack, and he's fine, but he can't, they can't do anything for a couple months.
Oof.
Yeah,
Oof.
I saw the post on Instagram, I think, when I got in my car after work, and I looked at it and I saw heart attack and sorry, and
Yeah.
I instantly thought Bill died because that's where because of all the shit that he's gone through. I was like, fuck.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy. I was like, no, we just talked to Bill like a few months ago.
Oh my God. That's so cool that you guys talked to him. He seems like he would be so much fun to interview.
Yeah.
But
he's a trip.
yeah.
Like he's not a normal human being, and I say that in like the best way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so unique.
Yeah, I went to the show out in Pittsburgh, and I honestly so Descendants is my favorite band, and I drove 4 hours to see them in Pittsburgh, 4 hours back the same night, like a psychopath, because I forgot how old I am. I really thought I could do that. And one night I had to stop like 3 times on the way home to sleep, but I wasn't I didn't really have fun at that show because I hated that venue. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but I can't even remember the name of the place, but it has like the stadium style seating almost. And then there's about 20 feet between the seats and the stage where everyone was trying to pack in like sardines. There was a point where I was being squeezed so hard I couldn't breathe. And I was like, just not having fun. But
Damn.
Immediately, when I saw that post, I was like, that can't be the way, the last show that I see.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to Florida to see them at Fest. So,
Oh, sweet.
Nice. Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, not just to see them, but this is my first Fest, which is stupid because I grew up in Florida and it's right there in Gainesville. But my friend tagged me in a post and I was feeling really impulsive. So here we are.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that when No Effects comes around next year, I hope they come to this area. I'm sure they will, but that the Descendants will play with them again.
Yeah, I haven't seen No Effects in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I saw, like I said, I went to the Punk and Drublic in Columbus, Ohio. It was the first time I've ever seen No Effects.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is crazy. And Descendants were there, of course. Such a great show.
I feel like the last time I saw No Effects was probably at a Warped Tour.
Yeah.
My first show ever was the second year of Warped Tour. That's how old I am. But
96.
missed the Descendants by 1 year. I think they played the year before, but I didn't.
Okay.
Was it 96? Because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because that was the first Warped Tour. My first Warped Tour as well. It was the second one, 96. Yeah.
Yeah, there was Social D, Mighty Mighty Boss Tunes, headline. Yeah.
I don't. Was it in Florida for you? I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So the lineup might have been different too. But
Yeah, a little bit, but I know the Bosstones did play it.
yeah.
I was at the DC one, but
Was that at RFK Stadium in DC? I was
no,
there,
it was at the Capitol Ballroom.
Okay, no, I was not there then. Okay, I must have gone to the third one.
The next year, 97, it was at RFK.
Okay.
I was at that one too. That one was good.
Yeah. Do you remember getting into punk rock for the first time? Like some of the first bands you heard and kind of what made you fall in love with it?
So I actually started out, I think, listening to ska before I really got into punk.
Okay.
I hung out with most of my friends in like high school were metalheads. And then there was me who listened to ska. And then like towards the end of high school, I started getting more into punk. So I was like this total like outsider in my friend group. But I love going to metal shows. They're just really fun.
They are.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I think my very first CD was like Voodoo Glow Skulls, which is kind of like a ska punk kind of sound. So, yeah, I definitely started out in the ska scene and then like made my way into the punk.
Nice. I was super into ska. I still like ska a lot. Like Hepcat, Slackers, those are like two of my favorite bands of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was around, I guess 20 or so, I ended up living in this like punk house in DeLand, Florida with a bunch of like boy kids and like street punk kids. And that was a wild time in my life. But it was like every weekend there was like a show in town. And then like all the bands, most of the bar would come back to our house and we'd have these like crazy ass parties and stuff. So that's really when I started getting more into punk stuff, was just being completely engulfed in it in that house.
That's
a lot of drunken nights that I
shenanigans
don't even remember.
Oh, I remember those too. Well, or don't remember. I remember not remembering. Know that.
Right. I've actually been sober now, coming up on my 9-year soberversary in
nice.
August. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's a little different, like going shows and stuff, not drinking, but
yeah,
I get to remember the entire show. It's really cool.
Yeah, that is a good.
I don't know how many shows I went to. I'm like, yeah, I think I was there. I think they were good. I don't know.
When did you start getting into tattooing, or when did you start getting into art? Like, what made you kind of pick that up?
I'm pretty sure it came out of the womb with the pencil, but yeah, I've been drawing my whole life. I always say like tattooing chose me because I never went actively looking for like an apprenticeship or anything. I became friends with a tattoo artist, and he was like at my house one day, saw some of my drawings, and he was like, I'm going to solve all of your problems. You're going to learn how to tattoo. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, I guess. I don't know. It really wasn't until I did my first tattoo that I really was like, man, this is fucking cool. Like, I can get into this. But like the whole time before that, I'm like learning. I'm like, yeah, whatever, I guess I'll learn this.
Do you remember what your first tattoo was?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you count this as my first one, but I was just like watching my mentor tattoo, and the guy he's tattooing is like this big bodybuilder dude. He's getting like a thorn armband with like blood drops, and he's like, can she do this is like, early 2000s. Can she do a couple of blood drops on me? And he was like, yeah, sure, yes. And he hands me the tattoo machine. Like, first of all, I have not been paying attention. I'm just bullshitting, hanging out at the tattoo shop. I didn't even know there was a pedal that I had to push. I don't know how to hold the machine. I literally know nothing because I wasn't paying attention. So he hands me the machine, and I was just like, crap. And my hand's like shaking real bad. And but as soon as I hit the skin, like I instantly like, straightened up, and my hand was steady. And I don't want to throw him under the bus or anything, but I saw that tattoo years later, and my blood drops looked better than his line on his thorn. I'm like, this bodybuilder dude's about to squash me if I fuck this up.
Yeah, shout out to Thorn Band guy.
Yes.
My first like actual tattoo that I meant to do was on my friend. My first like, I don't even know, 15 tattoos I did were skulls because, metalheads. First tattoo was a skull. and also my second, third, fourth. But it was actually a flash from this guy Tony Ciamaro. He's like one of my idols, so I of course picked like the super difficult. I mean, it wasn't like super like intricate or anything, but I'm like I really aimed high on that one. But it looks okay. I see him whenever I go to Florida, and his tattoo looks all right.
Nice. How long did you work in Florida for?
So my apprenticeship was like 3 years, and then I think I was in my third year of tattooing before I came up here. So yeah,
Cool.
3 years actual official tattooing, which is nice because like, you know, beginning of your career tattooing, like those tattoos haunt you and I don't have to see them. I already like knew what I was doing by the time I moved up here. So now the stuff I see up here, I'm like, oh, it's all right. It's not that bad, you know, but I go home and I'm like trying to hide. I don't have blue hair anymore, so people don't really notice me anymore. Thank God.
What shops did you work at when you came up here the first couple times?
So I worked in a shop in Annapolis that's not there anymore. That was the first place I worked at. It was called Full Color Coverage.
Oh yeah, I remember that place.
Yeah, and it was like an hour. It was like an hour and 15-minute drive from my house, which is crazy. But
damn.
I worked there for a while, and then I realized that I didn't like driving that far, so I moved to a shop in Hanover, Pennsylvania. I have to say that because Hanover, Maryland is so
That's
close.
right. Yeah.
But Baltimore Street Tattoo, I worked there for a while, and then went back to Florida, Subcultures, went back to Baltimore Street Tattoo in Hanover, and then House of Madness in Hampstead. I worked with Jason Lynn, who people may know from such TV shows as Ink Master, and then I opened my own shop.
Nice. What year were you at Full Color Coverage?
Oh shit, I don't know. I was probably, oh my god, that was probably 15 years ago at least.
Okay, because I got a this heart tattoo there.
Oh yeah,
and it was from a female artist, and it was around 15 years ago.
That would be so weird. Wait, put it up closer to the camera. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. When did you open up your shop?
So I opened it 1 month before COVID, which was
shit.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, sink or swim, right? So yeah. I opened up, my grand opening was February 2nd, and then I think March 14th was the day that they were like, you can't work. So yeah, panic. But hey, I survived it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I can make it through that I'm good. I'm not worried.
Yeah. Can't get too much worse than that without everything just crumbling around us.
Yeah, and I mean, I had just spent all my savings to open the shop, so it was like I didn't have anything like tucked away to get me through, like the 2 weeks of what were they calling it? Like
to flatten the curve.
2 weeks to flatten the curve. Yeah.
/ 2 years.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll be fine. I need this break. Like I just worked my ass off, and then I was just like, okay, starting to panic now, but. I actually got through by painting. I used to do in the slow season. I used to paint little like pet portraits on ornaments, and it was like really popular. And it got to the point where I had to like only limit it to so many orders because so many people wanted them. So I was like, okay, well, if we don't go back to work soon, I'll just do pet portraits. But I didn't want to do the ornaments just in case I needed that for the winter. So I did like mini pet portraits on these little 2x2 canvases, and I was doing like between 9 and like 12 portraits a day.
Oh shit.
Yeah, every day, at least like 5 days a week. I did these paintings all through COVID. It was insane, but
nice.
It really boosted my career, honestly, because now I apparently am known for doing pet portrait tattoos. So that's all I do.
There you go.
Yeah, so it worked out. A lot of those like dogs and cats that I painted, I also got to tattoo later on, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
People do love their pet portrait tattoos. My goodness.
People
They really-
love
Yeah.
pets.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I loved my dogs. I don't know if I'd ever get them tattooed on me, but
Yeah.
some people really, really love their pets.
Oh yeah. I get to hear it all. I talked to a lady who there's probably no way she would listen to this, but she collects her cat's whiskers. Have you heard
Wait, hold on. She does what to their whiskers?
collects them? Apparently, so I'm not a cat
Collects
person.
them. Yeah.
I am strictly a dog person. But like she apparently their whiskers fall out and she collects them in a jar and she wants to be buried with them.
But not with the cats, just their whiskers.
Like I'm tattooing her and she's telling me this and I'm just like I don't know how to respond or like what's appropriate here. I want to laugh, but I think you're being serious. Whoa, all right.
She should have them like surgically implanted in her face. That would be awesome.
Yeah, like the guys like the things that screw in the top of their head, like the screw mohawks. Yeah, she could just do it with whiskers.
I feel like there's a guy, isn't there like a tattoo guy who is like a body modification dude who's like trying to become a cat, or maybe it's a woman, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just seeing like their face was like all like they purposely like plucked their lip. And, I don't know. I'm not into body modification. That's great for some people, but it's not.
There was a dude. I used to go out to Denver a whole bunch to visit one of my friends who was out there, and we used to go to this punk rock bar out there called the Streets of London. I don't think it exists anymore, but one of the bartenders there was a dude that was a complete lizard guy. Like his whole entire body was tattooed with scales. Like he had like his tongue was like split, so it was like a forked tongue. He had shit he could screw in and out of his head, like all over the place.
I feel like I've seen this before.
He had like, you know, the bumpy eyebrow things. His eyebrows were completely gone. It's great. He was a great bartender, but
I bet.
He really did look like a lizard.
That's crazy. There's a guy in Baltimore. I forget what they call him. I feel like they call him the Blue Man. He's like got blue puzzle pieces all over his body, like his whole, like his face and everything. I remember seeing him at like a Pride festival a few years back. Super nice guy. Like I just like went up to him and I'm like, man, like you got your fucking eyelids tattooed.
Yeah.
Wild. Like you just don't see that. So, but he was like super nice and like just like ready to talk to anybody about his tattoo, which is cool. I guess you have to be like that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be that covered.
I feel like I've seen that dude in Maryland somewhere before.
It sounds familiar to me too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like people talking to me about my tattoos. I never got my tattoos for attention. They were always, I mean, I would be in Florida, 110 degrees outside. I'm in a hoodie. Like, I would be outside, like, you know, back when I smoked cigarettes, I'd be sitting outside the tattoo shop, fully zipped up, like, you know, smoking my cigarette with my hood on because I don't want anybody to talk to me about my tattoos. Once I got my, like, throat and my hands tattooed, that was over. But yeah, I've never been that one that's like, please ask me about my tattoo. You tell me about yours. Like, all it is, they're like, oh, did that hurt? And then they don't even listen to your response before they start like telling you all the stuff they want to get. And look at this tattoo I got. And I'm just like, I didn't ask for any of this.
That's my favorite tattoo question is when people are like, did that hurt? You're like, yeah, it's a tattoo.
People are always surprised. I'm like, I hate getting tattooed. They're like, really? You have so many? I'm like, just because I have them doesn't mean I'm like, yeah, but this feels amazing. Like, no.
Yeah, when I took my daughter to your shop to get tattooed by Beth like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I couldn't wait to see her facial expression when that needle hit her arm for the first time. But she was cool. She was total champ, man.
That's awesome.
I think women are so much like handle pain way better than men do anyway.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If we get passed out, it's usually men.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're a different kind of tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids just now started talking about tattoos, and their ideas are terrible. And I was like, and that's why you're not allowed to get tattooed till you're 25.
Mhm.
But tattooed at 18, I'm like, yeah, well, no.
I know. Yeah, my daughter was 18. It's like it's hard to say no when I always told her, like, when she was growing up, like, if you get good grades and if you do like extracurricular shit and if you're good to other people, I will give you total freedom to do what you want, as long as you do those three things. And she did. So when she wanted to get tattooed at 18, with tattoos, it was hard to be like, no, you can't. So I was like, at least find a reputable place. And I knew Tom had talked about you, and I just didn't want her going to some random shop and just
Yeah, and that's it's hard to tell them that they can't. I definitely made a lot of mistakes when I first started getting tattooed that I'm hoping that they see that I'm like going through laser removal on my back tattoo and my neck tattoo. I've gotten a bunch of stuff covered up, so maybe they'll at least see that I'm going through all this and think a little bit harder than a normal person would. But I'm just prepared for the worst. They're gonna get some dumb shit, and I'm gonna have to cover it up in like 10 years. So,
But then you can play the "I told you so" game when you're doing it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Good thing for them that I'm good at cover ups, so they'll be fine.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have a cover up question when I see you in August, by the way. But
Okay.
that'll be have you ever gotten like a request where you're just like, no, I'm not doing that?
All the time, yeah. Well,
Okay.
all the time anymore. I've kind of very vocal about what I don't like doing, which, the majority of my career, I was told, like, you can't do that. Like, you're going to scare people away. Like, good. I want to scare those people away so that they don't ask me for things I don't want to do. Because, the fact is, like, if I'm doing stuff that I'm not interested in doing and I'm not like fully invested in, I'm not going to do the best job on that tattoo. So
Right.
I wouldn't personally want someone tattooing me thinking I beat this and I don't feel like doing this, I want them to be committed about it. So I don't take on projects that I don't want to do, period. But
Gotcha.
It's gotten to the point now where every once in a while something will slip through the cracks and I'm like, how did you get here? Like, they'll be like, I want to get a black and gray dragon. I'm like,
Yeah.
like,
All right, 1993.
yeah, I'm like, get here because that's not anything I do, but I'm nice about it at least. I think a lot of people will just tell people no or not even respond to them, just ignore them. I at least will be like, yeah, that's not a thing I do, but my friend loves black and gray dragons. That's his jam. So like, check him out, and I'll send them one I know that I trust, because I think it's rude to just ignore people or ghost them or whatever. So try to at least help somehow, because then maybe like later on they'll be like, oh, actually want a pet portrait, so I'm gonna go see Missi. She's nice to me, apparently tribal is coming back, and
Really?
What? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I fought this. I've been fighting this. My friend's like, it's coming back. It's popular. It's cool. I'm like, no, it's not cool.
No,
like,
it's not.
maybe coming back, I'll give you that, but it's not cool. It's never been. It never will be.
It's never been.
They're doing this thing where it's like a traditional tattoo, and then they add like American traditional with like tribal. And I'm like, I had to live through this already. Like, you guys, they think it's fun and cool because they don't know. They didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, but
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be like super vocal about not wanting to do that again too. So
the only tribal ones that are like kind of cool are like the Polynesian ones.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I still don't want to do that either. But
but those should be done like, by traditional people, like in the islands
with the the hammer and the
yeah.
Yeah, they still do that a lot of, well, not a lot of places, but you still find that somewhere.
My first tattoo was a tribal. Ashamed to say. And that's not the one I'm asking to be covered up.
Okay.
because it's my first one, and even
Not
though it's
yet.
a tribal, it was my first ink, and it's kind of like, yeah. My friend drew it for me too.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
Gabe.
I honestly, my first tattoo would have been tribal if I had enough money, but
Mm.
I afford the tribal add-on, so I just got a butterfly because I'm clearly a
Okay.
butterfly person. You know, that's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
person. But
Well, shit. If you're good at cover ups, maybe I should come get my cover up done from you.
yeah. Okay.
My buddy Kenny was gonna do it, but he unfortunately died. He would have been the first tattoo artist on this show.
That's right. We were gonna have him on like right
It
before.
was
he
like
died.
5 days before he was gonna come on here.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Have you ever gone down to like the Richmond tattoo convention or anything like that?
Yeah, I haven't been in a really long time.
He's
But
he's the dude that puts all that, or what used to put all that stuff together.
oh really?
Ran the
Okay.
whole thing. Yeah.
Kenny, you said his name was?
Kenny Brown.
I don't think I knew him.
It was
Yeah,
a motorcycle accident, right?
Yeah. He got, of all things, he got hit by somebody driving a Ford Fiesta.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cut him off.
that
That's
sucks.
what a
Yeah.
weirdo.
Yeah. It was a total bummer. He was a really good tattoo artist. He's a good dude too.
Yeah. Yeah, the last time I went to a Richmond convention was probably, I don't even know, 15 years ago. Probably when I first moved up to working in Annapolis. But I'm sure it's changed a lot since then.
I'm curious if it's still going to be a thing now. 'Cause
Yeah.
he had literally, because he died in September, and I think they had just done the convention like the week before, or a couple
Oh.
weeks before, or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I feel like those things are put on by lots of people, you know, so
Yeah.
I'm sure step in because that's been going on for so long. If it's
Yeah.
the Tattoo Arts Festival, like the big one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure someone will step in and take over. Because that
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah. I don't even know how many years, but it's more than a decade, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
it has to be at least 20 years.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah. Because I can remember going when I still lived in Florida. I remember coming up to visit and going to the Richmond convention. I've been tattooing a long time, you guys. Like, makes me feel, the more I think about like stuff from back then, I'm like, God damn it, I've been doing this forever.
How old were you when you first started? I don't know if I don't
I
think we
think-
talked about that, right?
No.
I think I started my apprenticeship when I was 20. And then my apprenticeship was like, I started it and then I was, you know, a shitty punk kid that was like, fuck you, I don't need you. And like we got into a fight and I left and had to come back and start over again. That's why my apprenticeship was 3 years. But I was getting mad. He was like, I mean, I'm a workaholic. I fully admit I work hard. I work a lot. I'm obsessed with work. But like I would be there all day, 12 to 9. And then I also worked overnight at a gas station and Target at one point. So 11 to 7, I slept like 3-4 hours a night.
Damn.
Worked my ass off because I wanted it. You know, I wanted it so bad. And he would show up at like 3-4 o'clock, leave at like 5 or 6. And I wasn't allowed to tattoo unless he was there. And I was getting pissed. And he came in one day and was like, I feel like you don't respect me. And I was like, I don't. He's like,
You're right.
so, you know, I have regrets about that. But yeah, he was like, well, I think you should pack your shit and go. And I was like, fine, I will. I don't need you, you know. And then a year later, I'm like, I need you. I'm so lucky they took me back though, because it's so funny. Like I like wrote up my speech, what I was going to say. I like went and got tattooed by him, try to like, you know, clear the air a little bit. And I was going to ask him then, I chickened out. And then I came back in to show him how it healed up. And I had this whole speech prepared, literally practiced this shit in the mirror. You know, like I was like, can I talk to you guys for a minute? Like pulled him out back and I'm talking to him, like doing my whole spiel, like completely fucking up the speech. And they were like, we were wondering when you were going to ask. I'm like, you fuckers, like you, I'm like sweating this moment so hard. And they're just like, yeah, we saw this coming. We were wondering when you were going to ask. I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry that I am a shithead child and I'm ready to listen and not, do what you say. So after that, everything was cool and everything was a lot better. But yeah, I had to have my, shithead moment.
Everybody has to have that.
Oh yeah. So by the time I finished my apprenticeship, I guess I was like 24.
That's awesome that you've been able to do that though for your job to make money, and now you own your own place. It must be awesome to do something you love.
It really is. My husband hates his job. He's like miserable all the time. I'll be like, must be nice to just like hang out at work all day. I'm like, yeah, fucking is. Like, you should have made better choices in your life. I don't know.
That's what happens when you don't conform. You're happy.
My parents literally told me, don't be an artist for a living. You're never gonna make a living as an artist. Do it as a hobby. And I'm like, watch me. Like, don't. I can't do. I am highly motivated by proving people wrong. And check.
Awesome.
Take those words. I'm gonna use them as fuel.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I knew like I was never going to be able to sit in a cubicle because believe me, I tried. I worked at like a cable company for a very short time and it was awful. And you put me in a box and I like freaked the fuck out. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So, I knew there was no way I could just work a normal job. I didn't really know what that was, honestly, until, tattooing found me. But I was always jumping from like job to job to job. So, but yeah, it's cool. My husband will try to like tell my kids like, you're gonna have to work hard and be miserable your whole life. And everyone hates their job, and I'm like, guys, it doesn't have to be like that. Like, you can do anything you want. You just have to work your ass off to have it. It's not gonna fall in your lap like it did me. I probably shouldn't tell them that part of my story, but like, if you want it bad enough, you work really hard for it, you can have a cool life. Like, that's
part of it's just not settling.
Yeah.
Because I think, a lot of people that first taste of like a little bit of money comes along, and they just
insurance.
They're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna settle because this money right here is gonna solve all my problems. And I'm willing to be miserable for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then like that turns into like a lifetime of misery. And there's so many regrets.
Yeah.
But because they did that, they have to make sure that other people are fucking miserable too, so they have the same advice.
Right. I think that I have this unique ability to not be aware of consequences of my actions. So some people call that ADHD, but I'm very impulsive and just do the thing and don't worry about how it's going to turn out. And so far, so good. I mean, I'm not saying that is a great idea or will work for anyone else, but I have never been afraid. I guess I've always been more afraid that I'll regret not doing something than doing it. Because at least if I did it, I tried and it didn't work. But so I just have always been that way where I just like act super impulsively and I'm like, fuck it, let's see how this turns out.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, there's definitely been situations where I'm like, well, that sucked, that didn't work, but then you just keep going, as long as you get too committed in one direction and you're able to just like pivot, like it's not that big of a deal if it doesn't work out,
Failure is the greatest teacher.
Yeah. I just closed down I had like a gift shop downstairs in my tattoo shop where I had a bunch of local local artists in the area that make stuff. They would sell their whatever crafts and creations downstairs. And it was a cool idea. And I really enjoy, supporting local artists, but I wasn't making I was in fact losing money on it. And I'm like, this is not really working out. So we just closed it up. I have other ways that I support local artists, but that just wasn't it. It was cool for a little while. Everyone loved it, but not enough to like make it worth it. So
Right.
It was kind of a sad moment trying to come to terms with, okay, well, I guess it's time to just close up shop. It's not really
Yeah.
working. But I'll find something else. I have my newly non-profit business that we just got approved for nonprofit status. Bound by
Cool.
Art. I don't know if I told you about this before, but
Bound by Art.
yeah. So it's like a collaborative project where it started out with just tattoo artists. We would make stuff together. So we did a couple collaborative flash books. We did one that was called the Bad Bitch Bird Book. So it's a bunch of female tattooers, and we all did like a flash page of birds. It was really cool. And then we did a Christmas one. So we just do like collaborative projects with people all over the country, just friends of mine. Some people I didn't even know yet when they started the projects, but now it's kind of turned into this thing where we get the local artists that are not tattooers and tattooers together in the same room, and we all learn how to do whatever type of art together. So all of us suck at it, and it's cool because it kind of brings everyone down to the same level of like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, but we're here to learn because we all love art. We're all, in this together, and it's been a really cool thing, and it's getting, every event we do has been bigger than the last. So it's been awesome.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've been seeing like a lot of ads on Instagram. I don't know why I'm getting this shit, but like for this cream that like you rub on and you don't feel the tattoo.
Oh yeah, I have opinions.
Is that?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Do you get requests for that? And like,
I don't allow people to use it.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
For two reasons. There's probably more than two. There's they only work for like maybe 15-20 minutes, and then it's way more painful after it wears off. So like your body didn't get time to adjust to that level of pain, and so it's, as soon as it wears off, it's like all of a sudden hitting you. And so I find that people sit worse when they start out with the pre-deadener numbing stuff, and then it changes the consistency of the skin, like the texture of the skin. So it makes it harder for us to tattoo. And it ends up making for a really bad heel. So I don't like people to use it at all. Then if they get towards the end of their tattoo, if it's like they can't sit, they're having a hard time, I do use Bactine, and it doesn't affect the skin in nearly as bad a way as the pre-deadener stuff. But yeah, if people come in with that shit on, I'm like, we have to reschedule. I'm not tattooing with that, because I'm not doing the full tattoo over again. And that's basically what's gonna happen. It's gonna heal like shit. I'm gonna have to touch the whole thing up, and I don't have time for that. So but I make it pretty clear on my website, I don't like when people use that. So
plus like, if you're getting a tattoo, they are painful. So
yeah,
don't get a tattoo if you don't want to feel pain.
I mean, it's not, I feel like tattoos are not for everyone.
It's a badge. You're supposed to earn it.
I mean,
cheap out.
I'm a fucking wimp, admittedly. I hate getting tattooed. I mean, I will sit there. I will sit still. I won't move, but I will complain the entire fucking time. It's usually my friends tattooing me. I'll be like, why do you hate me? This hurts. We're friends. Vaccine. I don't like the pre-deadener stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care what they say or how great it works or it's different than the other kind. It's all bullshit, and it's all gonna make the texture of the skin different, and it's gonna fuck up the tattoo.
Yeah. Do certain artists have like a heavier hand than other artists? Is that like a thing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I always wonder what people mean by that, because literally people have told me that I have a heavy hand and that I have a light hand. And I'm like, do you even know what you're saying? Because I'm not sure most of the time. I consider a heavy hand like when someone is like, because you have to stretch the skin to tattoo. So in my opinion, that means that they are like stretching the fuck out of your skin, like pressing really hard, stretching really hard, and also riding the tube that the needle sits in, that they're pressing into your skin with the tube. That to me is heavy handed. And I don't do any of those things. So I don't, people have said both about me. And I'm like, I think I'm just like a normal, like medium.
Gotcha.
Especially since I use a rotary now. I switched to the machines that don't make any noise, you know. Since I switched over to one of those, they don't hit the skin nearly as hard. So
now I'm even more excited.
yeah.
Yeah, I was in LA like a couple months ago, and my brother and I got like these no effects wrist tattoos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it hurt like it was the. I remember like I went first, and I was like, I didn't want to tell my brother how much it hurt, but I was like, it might be this dude, like, or maybe the wrist is like super painful. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the wrist. The wrist is awful.
And then I remember watching my brother's face when he was doing it. He's like, fuck, this hurts like shit.
I think it's funny when people get their first tattoos on their wrist. I'm like, let's see how this pans
Oh
out.
my God. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, possibly one of the worst out of all of the tattoos. I remember getting the first one, my first wrist, and I was like, I am never getting my other wrist tattooed. And then fast forward like 10 years, I forgot how bad it was. And I got the other one done, and I was like, fuck, I'm so glad I never have to do another wrist. They're both done now. Yeah. You know? Especially right in the middle towards your hand. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like fire.
What about your throat? Was it worse than your throat?
Yes.
Or was it? Okay.
The throat was pretty awful too. I'm trying to remember. I remember not like the center of the throat wasn't the bad part. That was just, it was just weird right there because they're literally like pressing on your
Yeah.
You're trying to breathe and they're like pressing on your throat, but it was like just to the sides of the center is where it really, the skin is so thin there. It just feels like really hot, I guess.
Yeah.
Like good hot magnets.
Yeah.
And like down by the collarbone. It's pretty terrible too.
Yeah, I have a chest tattoo, and I remember like it's not on the nipple, but as he got close to my nipple, it was like fucking hurt. It hurt so bad. It felt like he was carving me with like an X-Acto knife or something like that. I was like, fuck.
I want to get tattooed so badly. I feel like I only have painful places left to get tattooed.
Yeah.
The backs of my legs is like all I have left on my legs, and I'm like, I feel like I just like them the way they are. I don't think I need anything.
Yeah.
But the back of the leg's not so bad.
Are you?
Yeah, the calf.
Yeah.
No, I have the calf. I'm talking about like the hamstring area.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
I have like pretty big thigh pieces that kind of go like around to the back a little bit, and that little tiny bit that went on the back side of my leg. Oh my God, it was awful.
It's got to be like somewhat similar to the back of like your bicep, like the back of your arm. I would imagine.
I honestly can't remember. I got that part tattooed so long ago, but probably, yeah. Awful. It's all awful. Guys, don't get tattooed. It's terrible.
But if you do, go with Missi.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Your tattoo is like I never get to do like punk rock tattoos. I guess much
Nice.
It's like mostly girly stuff. So I don't know that I really appeal to that community for tattoo stuff, but I would love to do more. But yeah, I'm like, I don't really know how to get my foot in the door, do like the cool punk tattoos. I guess I have to start drawing them. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just before the one on my wrist, it had been like over a decade since my last tattoo. Now I'm like, there's something about it. There's something, even though it hurts, there's something very like cathartic and kind of like, I don't want to say it feels good, but there's something, I don't know, maybe it's just like, I don't know what it is, but there's something about getting a tattoo that as much as it hurts, it feels good at the same time.
It's a badge of pride. What I said earlier.
Maybe, yeah,
It
yeah.
is. It is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Any time you make it through like the hard thing, it's a good feeling. But it's it's like a dopamine release, I'm sure. So there's a little but yeah, you're like, fuck yeah, I did this. I'm badass,
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you cried the whole time, you still made it through the other side.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is a weird thing to say, but I think I actually got hepatitis A from a tattoo once.
It's cool.
Which is the best hepatitis to get. Like if you're gonna get a hepatitis, A is fucking the way to go because it just goes away on its own.
Yeah.
And
this is the second OBH episode in a row we've talked about hepatitis now.
Yes, it is.
Like there's a common theme.
Well, when I started tattooing, it was always like Hep C. It's like, the worst case scenario. But now there's like treatment for hepatitis C. And it's well, what are we worried about now? Like,
yeah, cool.
It was either the tattoo or I had like Vietnamese food and I found like a pube in the food when I was eating. So it was it was one of the two. They all both happened like in the same week. Yeah. I remember like I was at work and I was looking in the mirror and my eyes were like kind of yellowish. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with my eyes? And I went to the doctor and like they gave me a blood test. You have hepatitis A. Like, did you leave the country recently? I'm like, no, but I remember like when I was getting my my chest tattoo. Well, first of all, I remember finding the pube in the Vietnamese food. But a few days before that, when I was getting my chest tattoo, the dude was sick and he kept like sneezing and coughing. And he's like, yeah, he said that he had no sense of smell. So he couldn't smell that he was eating bad meat. And that got him sick. So I wonder if he actually, I don't know if you can get hepatitis by coughing onto somebody with open wounds.
I know the answer to that because I do have to take bloodborne pathogens classes for being a tattoo artist, but I don't know.
Okay.
But I were like, hepatitis A poop, this is fine, keeps eating. And then yeah.
So if anybody wants to get tattooed, Missy Blue will not give you hepatitis. This was not her shop. This was a different shop in Baltimore.
But stay safe out there, guys. Wash your hands after you clean your toilet seats.
I lost like 10 pounds. It was kind of cool. I mean, for that.
I remember tattooing this kid who was telling me all about how he had E. coli. And he's like, yeah, I dropped like 40 pounds in like however many weeks. And I was like, he was like happy about that. I was like,
might do it again next summer.
The new E. coli diet. There you go.
I hear the wildest stories sometimes, man.
I can't even imagine. Yeah.
I wish I could think of any right now, but I always try to like pull them out of people. Like while I'm tattooing, I'm like, just.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm good at getting people talking while they're getting tattooed because I'm not one of those people that can sit there with headphones on and not talk the whole appointment. I don't know how people do that I have to chit chat or I'll lose my mind. But
I agree. Yeah, totally. It's weird to not talk to your tattoo artist, I think, because you're like, it's one thing if you're getting a massage and you're kind of like out of it or sleeping, but like,
yeah, and also it's only like an hour, whereas a tattoo is like 4 to 6 hours at least. I'm like, I can't sit in silence for 6 hours with you. That's a long day.
It's awkward.
I very rarely have days where like I can remember, old jobs where I'd be looking at the clock. Like, is it time to go yet? It's time to go yet. I don't do that. That's not my life. But every once in a while, weird client that like doesn't know how to have a conversation or they talk too much. There's like a balance there, and where I'm like, oh my God, is this almost over? But it's pretty I can mostly see those people coming a mile away. The way I have my booking process set up, they have to describe their tattoo. And like, I can just get a vibe from listening to them talk
Yeah.
about like how they describe anything. I'm like that person. I
Yeah.
call it a complicated word. You guys remember bone kui?
Yeah.
A complicated order. Yeah.
Like I bet this guy has hepatitis. I know he does.
Yeah. This was so many years ago too, Missy. I don't have this was like almost 20 years ago. I don't have hepatitis anymore. That it went away like shortly after that. So
I swear.
Yeah, see, you find out even more things about me on this podcast. I once had hepatitis.
Ronnie Shakes is going from Ronnie Shakes to old Yellow Eye Ron.
Wait, Yellow Eyes, wasn't that from like a movie or something?
It's I mean, when you have hepatitis, your eyes turn yellow.
Yeah.
The whites in your eyes do.
Yeah.
Hepatitis A, at least. I don't know about the other letters.
Yeah, I don't know about the other ones either. I'm only an expert on A.
Collect them all.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't want to collect all. I have the hepatitis alphabet. All right, I'm going to ask you these 3 questions that we ask everybody on the show.
Oh God.
So
Okay.
here we go. Okay, first question is: if you were on death row, what would your final meal be?
The final meal
Mm-hmm.
have to be some sort of seafood. Love seafood.
Hell yeah,
Probably Maryland blue crabs.
nice.
They are good.
Also, I can like drag that out for a really long time. If I get to
Hell
it.
yeah. You can eat those for hours and hours, man. Okay. Second question: this is the things that they actually do now, and so if you are cremated, I know these are weird. They're both about death, but I don't know how that happened. But if you get cremated, they could take your ashes and turn it into a vinyl record of your choice. So if you were going to have your ashes eternalized in a record of your choice, which record would you pick?
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With everything sucks.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Good choice.
Because
So
everything
good.
sucks for everyone now that I'm gone. So
Yeah. Such a good record, man.
It really is.
Oh, all right. All right. Final question is: who is on your Mount Rushmore of punk rock? You get 5 people because you get a crazy horse too. So the 4 president. Yeah, 5 people.
oh fuck. I was like, am I supposed to study? Should I study for this? And you're like, no, it's fine.
I was going to tell you that. I was actually, when you asked me if I should study, I was going to tell you, I was going to give you a heads up on this Mount Rushmore question, but
well,
fuck it.
Fuck it, we don't normally.
Yeah.
Milo is gonna have to be up there on
Yeah.
my. Oh my God, you guys! I don't know.
He really does belong up there, though.
I'm gonna put Scott Reynolds up there too. 'Cause
That's a first.
It is a
Really?
first.
Yeah, that's a first.
5. You guys can't give me like 3.
It's got to be 5.
Got to be 5. It doesn't necessarily have to be like all punk rock necessarily. Like, what's punk rock to you? What are your favorite band? Who are your favorite bands of all time? Just think of the.
Yeah. We have
of
some
the
weird.
peaks.
I mean, I think Liberace was one from somebody.
Yes, Liberace was one from somebody, and I'm trying to remember who that was now.
I'm trying to even think of who I even like anymore. You guys really stumped me on this one. I'm sorry.
Who the fuck said Liberace? Somebody did say Liberace.
And somebody said Little Richard too.
Yep.
Richard.
Yeah. Who the fuck is Liberace? Oh man, I'm gonna spend like the next 2 days trying to figure this out.
Big fan of Bad Religion also.
There you go. Greg
And,
Graffin.
Greg
lead singer.
Minor Threat, I would have to say.
Okay. Ian
Ian
MacKay.
Mackay.
Well, it's got to be Ian MacKay.
Yeah, it's got to be Ian Mackay. It's got to.
I'm totally cheating right now. I'm looking
No,
at
it's totally cool. People do that too, so it's all good.
Well, so you got like one more, right?
Yeah, Milo, Scott Reynolds, Greg Graffin, and Ian MacKay.
Greg's on mine.
What about H2O? I feel like that's been a big influence in my life
Yes.
too.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
What's his name? I can't believe I can't remember his name.
I was just talking. Yeah, I was just talking about him with somebody the other day.
Don't say his name if you see it. I want to get.
He has a fucking podcast. Why am
Yeah.
I? Oh my God, I've met him.
I remembered his first name, but I got the last name. now.
Toby.
Toby. Yeah.
I don't know.
What's his last name?
Morse,
Yeah.
Toby Morris. Okay.
Yeah.
not to be confused with Toby Keith. Or
Right.
guys.
Often confused.
I'm gonna have to write you back later when I actually come up with my list. My actual list.
Yeah. Yeah, but Milo, man, hopefully get well, man. That was shocking.
Yeah, really not.
Yeah.
Not ready for
Yeah. Well, where can people find you online?
So I'm at Tattoos by Missy Blue on Instagram, on everything, I guess. Bluebird Tattoo Studio. I'm everywhere.
Hell yeah. I'm super excited to see you in August. Tom might come with me.
Awesome.
He says Tom's infamous for saying he's going to go places and he never goes places. So I don't know. As you found out by going to Pittsburgh without him.
So that morning, he's like, "Oh, sorry, can't make it." I'm like, okay." So is he not going to come up for his tattoo appointment? Or
He is. That's the next week, I think. Well, he should be there for that. I mean, that would be really fucked up. Yeah, but yeah, I'll see you in a couple weeks, and I'm excited. And thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun.
Cool, man. All right, I'll talk to you. And if you have any questions about like the podcasting stuff, hit me up for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I will.
Awesome.
Ron, you and I will have to go up there sometime too, because I'm serious about getting a cover up tattoo. I need this fucking covered up.
I got you.
I got a whole thing already worked out for it. So
cool.
And it won't be a hard cover up at all.
And he doesn't have hepatitis.
I don't
do anymore.
At least not now. Who knows what the future holds? But you know.
All right, Missy.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
All right, take care. Thanks for hanging out for another week. Be sure to check out punkboxrocks.com and merchslut.com. Check us out on all social media outlets at Our Brains Hurt and at ourbrainshurt.com. We will talk to you next week. Stay safe. Adios.
How do I do this shit? I can still hear you. So what do I have to press? Close.